No justice in essay.
A good day, TikTokers, South Africans, the world at large. The reason of making this video is to reach out to the international world to show the outside world how corrupt is our country, how the injustices are happening in this country, which are perpetuated by men of state who wants to run away with crime. I am looking forward for public opinion, but no one is coming forward. So I fail to understand if Panyaza Lesofo can coerce the administration, the justice system, as well as the public itself. In common terms, I can say the public is under siege. I'm making this video to make an outcry to the international world, to the world leaders, to tell them how our country undermines the Constitution. If you follow me, you will realize that I've put a number of documentations in my profile, which includes a number of judgments and orders which were issued by state offices in an improper manner. For your information, my followers, presidents of different countries, I have never appeared in any of the court, but I have received judgments. Now, let me unpack why this situation have reached to this level. Yes, during the time in question, at my workplace, in 2002 is when a new principal joined our school, and that was the day when hell broke loose. The new principal had a personal vendetta with me, which we try by all means to iron out, and the exercise did not achieve its fruits. The ordeal started in this fashion. The principal allocated me to teach mathematics literacy, of which I refused because my contract does not stipulate. My contract stipulated that I must teach mathematics and biology. That is what I am employed for. So based on the refusal, the principal laid charges against me, citing that I have refused to take lawful order without a reasonable cause. The internal proceedings were initiated and they were never concluded because one of the employer representative have recused himself from the hearings and resigned. That is Mr. Martin. And the chairperson remained the one who was adjudicating on this matter. The case was never concluded, and the chairperson recommended that I be dismissed. So I was fired. I was fired without a dismissal letter, because the chairperson, in his findings, he said the procedure was correct, that is, the procedure was fair, and the substantiveness of the matter was fair. Mind you, there was no internal hearing. I then challenged my firing through the Education Labor Relations Council. In a layman's language, I can say the CCMA. I was represented initially by the Lekhwara attorneys. While the case was on, the Lekhwara attorneys decided to abscond from the hearing. And then the chairperson wanted to corner me because my lawyers are no longer there, only to find out that the Lekhwara attorneys have received a brown envelope. I opted for my second team of lawyers, that is the Ramathaga attorneys. The Ramathaga attorneys also received a brown envelope and absconded from the hearing. At the end of the day, during the CCMA hearing, the commissioner found that the proceedings were unfair and the substantiveness was fair. Mind you, there was never the internal hearing. And the commissioner, instead of giving the remedy to reinstate me, the commissioner decided himself to compensate me. You can guess what? I was compensated 7,900 rand. And that money, I received it in a form of an e-wallet from the Department of Education. I tried to challenge the department through their offices in District 15 to say if they are incapable of reinstating me, they must give me a dismissal letter, which it was never be issued. To my dismay, while I was still struggling with the Department of Education pertaining to my dismissal letter, I then received a letter from the Government Employee Pension Fund citing that I have resigned from my employment, and they sent me a letter of the letter that stipulate my benefits. And mind you, I have never resigned from my employment. I was fired. Being that the case, I took the matter to the Labour Court. It took the Labour Court almost 3 years to set my matter on the roll. But all in all, I have never appeared in the Labour Court except by submitting my application. My application was dismissed, unopposed, and a judgment was issued on a public holiday around about 9 o'clock in the day. This judgment is alleged to have been issued by Judge Tlhotlhale Majo, whom I regard as corrupt. I complained to the Judicial Service Commission. I received an acknowledgement. Even today, Judge Tlhotlhale Majo was never brought to book. There is this registrar at the Labour Court, Cephalius Poppy, who is the registrar of the Labour Court as well as the Labour Appeal Court, who is corrupt, who is not doing what he's supposed to do. I make an application for leave to appeal, which was refused. I received the order through an email in the evening. I petitioned the Labour Appeal Court. And an invalid case number was issued. And I've never appeared in the Labour Appeal Court. And my case was dismissed, unopposed. I took the matter to the Constitutional Court. It took some time before the Constitutional Court could respond to my application. There it finds another barrier, Sibusiso Maposa, who is the registrar of the Constitutional Court. I've never appeared in any court, in the Constitutional Court, and my matter was dismissed. I applied for recession, my recession was dismissed, unopposed. Mind you, in all these cases, I've never appeared in any court. That is why I'm saying that Panyaza has so many foot soldiers. In this case, you must understand, my followers, that the state did not open a case against me. I opened a case against the state but I've never appeared in any court, but I have received judgments through emails, orders through emails. After the Constitutional Court refused my case, I went to the High Court, making an application for declaratory order. Those who understand the legal fraternities, because my video basically is for those who are practicing law and the general public for general interest. But in particular, this is intended for the president of this country and the president of the other countries to see how the Constitution of South Africa is being compromised by certain officials, people who are holding high positions. I have made mention of them. I've mentioned Judge Tlhotlha, I've mentioned Theophilus Poppy, I've mentioned Sifiso Maposa, Sibusiso Maposa, the registrar of the Constitutional Court. Not all the judges are corrupt. Judges of the Constitutional Court, they uphold their oath. But the administration of our courts are very corrupt. So at the High Court, my case was under Judge Mukabela. By then he was an acting judge. Yeah, he was not familiar. He was an acting judge. So I realized that Panyaza was able to coerce him. Mind you, even though you can go to any court that I've traveled, that I've visited, there are no record of such intentions of prosecution. All my cases were never contested, but I have solid judgment with my hands. Presidents of the outside world, please assist in these injustices. Panyaza Lesufi wants to run away with crime, including Judge Tlhotlha and Judge Mukabela. They are the ones who sign the orders, including Sibusiso Maposa of the Constitutional Court. After failing from the High Court, I thought now it is time for me to approach the Supreme Court of Appeal under the leadership of President Judge Molemela. When I arrived in Bloemfontein, in the brink of submitting my application was refused. But Registrar DV and his junior registrar clerk, they cited that the Supreme Court of Appeal does not deal with labor court. I thought I have exhausted all the avenues of the legal fraternities. I then approached the Public Service Commission. The Public Service Commission told me that they don't have jurisdiction to deal with my matter. I approached the Public Protector. The Public Protector said to me, they don't have the jurisdiction to deal with the matter. So I'm making an appeal to the world to intervene in my matter, to try and seek justice for me. As I speak right now, I am not in a position of a dismissal letter. When you go to South African Council of Educators, I'm still registered as an educator. When you go to GPF, it is stated that I have resigned from my employment. But in all this activity, no one have ever come forward and contest. President Ramaphosa, before the outside world can intervene, your office is aware of my case. The office of the Premier is aware of my case. The Department of Education is aware of my case. The Labour Court is aware of my case. The Appeal Court is aware of my case. The Constitutional Court is aware of my case. The High Court is aware of my case. The Supreme Court is aware of my case. But none of the above is willing to practice what is called justice. Please, I'm appealing to anyone in authority to help me to find justice. I'm still waiting and looking forward for your comment, but it seems as if I'm talking about senior officials. No one is intending to comment because people are afraid to go to jail. There's no longer jail. Only those who are in office are the last people to go to jail for high treason. So nowadays, there's no high treason in South Africa. You know there are people who were practicing around. They've been deported to their own country. So Ibrahim, the King of Africa, Burkina Faso, I wish you hear my cry. You are the Messiah as I'm looking forward. So what is happening in South Africa? There are first-class citizens, second-class citizens, and the third-class citizen. Justice is not the same. I'm waiting forward for your comments. With this video, I was trying to summarize to make everyone to follow why I'm making these videos. I thank you. Let this video go viral. I won't die in silence. I thank you.